Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. Hello, everybody.
What's up?
Welcome to the 153rd Recovery Freedom Rising podcast. I'm Milan Starcic with co-host Andrew Norman, my main man, and from Virginia Beach, sweet as a peach. Today's topic is joy. Would you share what this means to you, Andrew, and why you are joyous to discuss this here today?
I would love to, Milan. I love you, man. Good to see
love you
you.
too.
Racking these things up. 153. I like it. Man. Joy. It's a very broad term. It's a very beautiful term in my life now. When I started really thinking about it, Milan, joy is more than happiness, right? Think about happiness, that term happiness. But happiness, when I started thinking about that, it can be tied to circumstances. Happiness itself is tied to circumstances like, a sunny day. It's a sunny day, so we're happy because it's sunny outside and it's not cloudy. You get a new car. It's your birthday, right? We're going to be happy on our birthdays. And as I really started diving into this topic, joy is deeper than just simple happiness. Joy is a spiritual condition, and when I started thinking more about it, and here's kind of the punchline, it's a spiritual condition, not an emotional mood. You with me? Like you think about it, it's not an emotional mood, it's a spiritual condition. So we can tie happiness and joy together a lot. I'll keep it on me. That's kind of where I tied it together, but that's not really the case. It's not the case at all. So we often hear a lot of these spiritual principles that we throw around in these meetings a lot, peace, serenity, gratitude. We hear that a lot, but I think like joy itself, that word is something that it almost grows out of those spiritual principles, right? It like grows from those spiritual principles. Like we gain joy from practicing gratitude and all these other things, right? And I feel like it's not talked about that much. It's just kind of a side product of the rest of it. So as a result of living in God's will, right, today for me, practicing these spiritual principles in all of my affairs, and letting go of all that shit that used to own my ass. That's how I get joy, right? Joy is not dependent on everything going right in my life today. I understand that life is going to continue moving, and it's going to continue with the good and bad results. But this whole joy aspect of my life, and me being a joyous person, joyous, happy, and free, it's not depending on everything going right today. And that's the big shift for me is everything had to go exactly according to plan when I was in active addiction, and it doesn't anymore because I have a program. You know what I mean? I have a way to filter what I'm getting ready to do and why I'm getting ready to do it. With that said, I felt God's love and the fellowship and the power and the sense of purpose, even when shit's rough. Like when shit's hard, that's when I feel it the most almost. So joy, we almost tie joy to something when everything is going right, but I almost get more joy today in recovery when shit's going bad, because that's when I actually can feel God's presence in my life. That's when I can actually feel the love of the fellowship, right? Like I can actually feel my sense of purpose and the power of this fellowship and God himself, right? Like, because when shit's rough and I can still get through it and not use drugs and be like, okay, and then wake up the next day and go do it again. Like that's unheard to me. Like in terms of the last 20 years of my life, I didn't think that was going to be available in my life. So, and it is now, man. And so, I'm joyful to be here with you today. I know we'll pass this thing around. Before recovery, though, I chased it like I chased pleasure like it was joy. You know what I mean? And that's not but pleasure is like a quick, shallow, destructive thing that I'm going for. And it always came with a crash, right? Joy is, on the other hand, is a sustainable thing for me. I can sustain joy in my life because I'm actively working this program. And that's the only way I get joy in my life today is if I do that. So I love you, man.
I love you,
Good to see
brother.
you.
That was beautifully laid out. I love that. You know, my very favorite quote from the AA Big Book, like when we were in treatment, we would have to do some readings as a group. And what we really have is a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. So when you refer to joy as a spiritual condition, you know, it for sure relates into emotional sobriety, right? Like, and and joy being more than momentary happiness. You know, joy is a much deeper thing. Like, I can be having shitty moments and still have joy in my heart. Like, that's the difference, you know, like it's not just like this quick thing, you know, it's like I could be like driving in a car and I might be going up and down hills, but I'm still going forward. And joy is kind of like that deeper forward momentum inside my life. And much like you, I used to refer to myself as a sensationalist when I was in my active addiction because I was seeking that sensation all the time. And it rarely accompanied joy. You know, like I would easily say that the last 6 to 8 months of my addiction was joyless. Like really like man, I would struggle to find a day that was joy filled if I had to rewind it and look back. And
Unattainable. It was unattainable.
well, it's just that I wasn't, you know, like I think that, you know, joy isn't the absence of pain, it's the presence of purpose, acceptance, and deep gratitude, you know. And I trudged the road of happy destiny today, but that's walking with purpose, you know. I am literally branded myself to try to gain more acceptance in my life. And gratitude and expressing and feeling and working with gratitude is a massive part of my program these days. You know, like the one thing I've realized about gratitude that you know, like gratitude is like one of the only recovery muscles we can build by flexing it. Like we actually have the ability to flex that muscle, whether it is even sincere or whether it is just digging for something positive. You know, like it is literally though, like, man, I can't be like, surrender now and just like instantly drop what I'm struggling with. But I can be like, three good things about Andrew, or he's loving, he's my friend, he cares about me, we share great times. Like, I can pull three gratitudes. I can do that. Like, it is one of the most actionable growth steps in my fucking program.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and so that has led to a profound sense of joy on a regular basis. Like my contentment level in life was zero. Now, you know, like if I've said it recently on the show, you know, if I had to relive this month, I could happily relive this month till the day I die. And that's that, you know, like I never had a period in my life of contentment and joy like that. So,
Beautiful.
you know, I can't wait till we get into the questions because I think this one's very joyous.
It is, man. It is. It has no, we have like when we're talking about joy, we become what we talk about, man.
I
We're going to be
like
joyous, bro.
literally feel happy that we're talking about joy.
And the thing is, like right when you started talking about gratitude, it's funny. Like, you name off three gratitude, and it almost makes your brain activate those levels of like serotonin, happiness, whatever you want to call
Mm,
it, whatever your brain activates. You talk about other people, or even if you talk about the gratitude that you feel for yourself, the things that you're happy about
mm,
yourself, it makes you positive.
mm.
It forces your
It
brain to think
fills
positive.
that mental space with
Mm-hmm.
positivity. Because
Mm-hmm.
if we just let the hamster wheel go, it's like shitty bitty committee, shitty bitty committee. Tick, 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 tick. But it's like if you're like happy, love, joy, you're amazing. Hey, look at you, you're wicked.
Oh
Look at
yeah.
this one. Like we if we fill the spaces in between that itty bitty shitty committee with gratitude and love,
Yeah.
it's unstoppable that there's going to be a change in there.
Yes, and recycled gratitude and love is like more powerful. Recycled like pain and sorrow is like terrible shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we can recycle and fucking filter through that gratitude shit as much
Dude,
as
I
that
could
just throws
pity
on
party
itself.
with the fucking best of them. Like,
And that shit will go south quick. That shit goes
yeah,
super south quick, man.
yeah.
All right, cool. So how did your understanding of joy change before recovery to now?
So, I think that previously in my life, I didn't understand the difference between happiness or a positive sensation and joy. Like now it's like joy comes with a certain level of peace to me. Peace in the sense that it's like I don't have the cognitive dissonance of doing one thing and wishing I was doing another. Like there's like there's a pleasant spiritual attaboy that happens there,
Yeah.
like just
Yep.
to quote Brandy on that. But it's like, there's part of me that's like right on, and so like now I am enjoying fundamentally trying to make a better person out of myself, with my higher power, like helping surrender it. But like it's like the changes that are occurring, like I I have to bring awareness of what I need to change, right? And then I have to, pray and meditate and figure out with my higher power, the actions that are going to replace that.
Hmm.
Like I I almost feel like there should be some kind of phrase coined called replacement therapy. And that replacement therapy is replacing our shit with goodness.
Naturally,
Replacing
yeah.
that negative with love. But it's like I feel like I'm undergoing a certain level of replacement therapy inside my life. And you know, the serenity, peace and joy and love is replacing that fear, anxiety, shame and guilt and anger. Like and it's happening at a fairly rapid rate right now. So it's like some days I'm not even sure how to express it, but I'm just holding on by the seat of my pants, and loving it.
Yeah, man. Strapped in. You're strapped in.
I'm strapped
Ready
in.
to go. That's
Yep.
dope. That's dope. So
Love you,
how
man.
did I love you more, man. I love you more. So how did my understanding of joy change before recovery to now? Um, I feel like before recovery, I didn't. I felt like I knew what joy was, and I felt like I had experienced it. But now, feeling real joy, like clean, free of substances, like I didn't know what joy was then. I never really had experienced it. Maybe as a kid, but I don't. I can't really tap into those feelings anymore. So obviously, I want to build new joy, man, as a healthy adult. Um, and so the way I understand it now, like joy, like back then, if I was escaping the pain, because I was in a lot of pain when I was in active addiction. I think a lot of us deal with our own pains, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual. I think we go through a lot of pains in active addiction, and so if I was escaping that pain, that was joy to me, right? And that's how they talk about we live at a below animalistic level. Like just escaping pain, just not being in overwhelming pain equal joy to me. And bro, that's sad. That's a sad place to be in, man. Like every day, where like you just want to pull your ass out of the gutter to feel some kind of substance, man. And so it's a lot different now. Back then I confused joy with temporary pleasure too. Escaping pain and temporary pleasure, which what does that equal, man? You know, that's that's the drugs, man. Like my temporary fix always involved using. Um and then the pain would go away, and then it would come back, and then I would use again, and then the pain would go away, and it would come back and I would use again. And days turned to weeks, turned to months, turned to years, turned to doing it with people that my most loved ones in my life. And when I had a good high, I was happy. I was around people who were partying. I thought I was happy, but inside I always felt empty. I always felt there was like this emptiness there. Again, even like today, I can be in a room full of 5,000 people and feel alone and feel completely alone. And now looking back at it, being able to process my life a little bit now that I have these steps and things, I'm able to look at that and go like, I felt that way then. I felt that way then. Like in a party, drinking, doing partying, and with all of my friends, all of my loved ones, and I felt uncomfortable and alone. And I was forcing myself to be in these situations, like these party situations, and doing shit and sneaking home because I'm drunk or drinking or doing whatever I was doing on that night, man. And that shit layers up, and bro, I wasn't. That's where we talk about. We think we had it going on in active addiction. Like we had it going on. We had all these friends. Man, people didn't like us. People didn't like us. It was all conditional. This whole thing was conditional.
I'm pretty sure all my friends' wives hated me. Every
All of
single
them,
one.
and
Like,
and even your even wives of not your friends hated you. Like man, bro, people that came in contact just this it, that I remember I was working one time, and because I was I had married women, and I had multiples, and I was working with like home inspectors, and there was one home inspector, him and I got along really, really well. And I remember the day that like him and I really chopped it up, man. We would go into the house and like talk about his kids and what we had going on. And there was one day that I met with the agent that I was actually sleeping with, and she was married. And I remember him coming up to me saying something like, "Bro, I would never ever let my wife around you." Like, and just he kind of laughed it off and then like walked away. And I was like, that's not a good thing. So
no,
I guess he's not going to ever invite me over for like Thanksgiving dinner or something. Like he would give me like
never.
a Christmas card and shit. Like he's like, "Bro, I would never." And he's looking at me in the eye. He's like, "I would never let you around my wife." And I'm
You're
like,
like, don't come to my house.
"Bro,"
Well,
and I'm like, "Okay, all right." And those little times where like shit like that happens, where it's like, "Bro, if I catch you anywhere near my wife, I'll kill you." Um, you don't really think about it, like, but that's what that was. That was the message he was
that was a
sending me.
warning.
That was a warning shot.
Oh,
Like, look,
oh
we're
yeah.
friends and we chop it up and shit, but like, let me catch you outside with my wife. Like, it's just funny. So when I came into recovery, the definition started to shift for me on the joy piece. In my early days clean, I got glimpses of joy, just laughing in meetings. Um, just the simple fact of wanting to be in a meeting and not having to be in a meeting. I feel like those little moments made me feel joy. I It's not because I have money in my pocket that I feel joy. You know what I mean? I could have no money. It doesn't matter what I have in my pocket. As long as I have me, you know what I mean? I have my recovery. I have my God of my understanding in my life, my higher power, something that I can kind of grab onto when shit gets a little rough. I got a sponsor. I got good friends that are trying to do the same thing I am and stay clean while we're going through this rough shit. And we can talk about it. We create platforms like this. We got a fucking podcast now. We can come in here and talk about it, bring other people from all around the world in and let people download it and watch it later and get some relief out of it. Come on, man. This is joy. This is joy to me, man. This,
Oh
this,
yeah.
this. So now I have a new definition on joy. You know, now with over 3 years clean, I've come to understand that joy is not like a mood or a high that you get from a substance. You know what I mean? It comes from living in alignment with these spiritual principles, living them daily in all of our affairs, tapping in and giving it up, turning it over, man. Because our self will, once we grab a hold of that shit, our self will, and we run off for years with it, we're done. Like that's what happens. Is we think we can hide it. I think we can take our self will and go hide it under a rock somewhere, and God's not gonna find it. Look, man, if you're gonna take your self will, you're in trouble. You're in trouble as an addict. If you're an addict, You have got to give this thing up. It comes back to the surrender piece, man. You know what I mean? It's not about avoiding pain or struggle. It's about pushing through these times and surrendering what you can't control, and giving into this program, because this program's not gonna let you down, man. You know what I mean? I can see joy in the middle of the roughest times today because of this program. I'm going through the roughest shit in my life. I know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, because what? This too shall pass, man. They tell you all these little things all the time. This too shall pass. It will pass. Whatever you're going through right now, you think you can't get through it, you want to kill somebody, you want to kill yourself, it will pass, man. Bro, go to sleep. You don't have to go to sleep at midnight. You can go to sleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll wake up clean, man. Just take a nap. Nap it out. I love you, man. I'm
Love you
so
too.
joyful to be here, man. I think this is a dope thing that we're doing today.
I got a good one here for you. Okay.
Oh, I forgot you have a question for me. Yeah.
We used to seek joy in shortcuts. Now we find it in the slow, steady path of spiritual growth. What recovery discipline has surprised you by becoming a source of joy?
Wow. Well, that kind of leads me into that question, because it's these rough times, man, that I'm able to find these most joyous times in. It's these tough times that hit me in active recovery, where I'm able to consciously push through these things with that God of my understanding, with the help of my sponsor, whatever it be, and I push through the other side, um, not avoiding that pain, not putting it on the back burner, and I'm a stronger dude on the other side. And then I've got a tool belt going forward when that problem comes up again. Um, this is not a temporary or circumstantial thing anymore for me today. This is a long-term thing for me. When I talk about making a commitment long-term to myself in this program and to this fellowship, that includes being joyful and having joy in my life. If I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't want to be joyful, like what, like if you're coming off drugs, you want to do better for yourself. You want joy in your life. Right. I think we
Yeah.
all can
Yeah.
appreciate that. Like at one way or another, we all want joy in our life because we've been so fucking miserable.
How many times at a meeting have you heard, I didn't get straight to be miserable?
I didn't get straight to be miserable.
I've heard
Yes.
that 1,000 times
I
at
hear it
meetings.
all the time, man. I hear it all the time. It's a great point. So yeah, we didn't get straight to get miserable because, bro, and I can be miserable by myself, right? Like we don't need to bring in all these friends to be miserable. Like we bring community and people into our lives so that we can spread this joy, and that when we're not joyous, those people that we bring into our lives, their joy will rub off on us, and then that will in turn flip our day, like we're doing right here, man. So like I have no other, like we could come on here and be in a bad, even if both of us are in shitty fucking moods, when we come on here and we see each other, both of us don't want to be in shitty moods.
We've done it. We've both showed up turd balls and left fucking shining, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
It's
it seems to
happened.
happen every time. So not we come in here shitheads, but we leave shining. But
Yeah.
that's my answer. I love you, man.
I love you too. Like this show, it's like a certain level of personal therapy for me, for sure. For
Big
me,
time. Big
it's
time.
like attitude adjustment occurring. Oh, more joy and gratitude. So we used to seek joy in shortcuts. Now we find it in the slow, steady path of spiritual growth. What recovery discipline has surprised me by becoming a source of joy? Well, it was end of October last year. A friend had relapsed, and I remember saying to you, actually having the conversation, saying, I got to bring more prayer and meditation into my life. Because I often, to anybody out there who's just meeting me, I often reevaluate my program when a friend goes down, because I've just learned that it's an easy way for me to kind of assess. Like I don't want to go there, and it allows me, a moment of fear and maybe like part of their gift of desperation in some ways. Bouncing me back into a stronger program, and so I decided, what, I was not applying myself in the prayer and meditation. It was like, oh, okay, I'm going to add this chore to my program. And really, it has opened me up to so much more joy. like so much more joy. The act of praying gratitudes and praying, you know, praying for help with my shortcomings and defects, but my surrender, my now onto this. You know, I think today is my 3 weeks of the 2 week prayer, or the two-way prayer, and man, like I am telling you, like it is a real peace, serenity, and joy bringer. Like number one most effective on those three fronts in my life at all inside the program. Anybody out there, Google it, twowayprayer.org. Go for a little ride
It's been
in my,
going around our meetings, man, because Chelsea started talking about
yeah,
it in our parking lot. She was like, "I printed." She said, "You can print out the worksheet and all that shit."
yeah.
She was talking all about it, man.
But you know what, man? I'm telling you, inside 3 weeks, massive changes to my day. To like I said, I think on one podcast the other day, it's like the top of the back of my head to the bottom of my shoulders. It's evidently where I carry stress, and it's like, man, that area is like it is just like a whole different space in the back of my head. The real estate that it's giving me back inside my own peace of mind. So, like, not only has it brought peace and allowed me to sort of start transforming my actions into greater service, it's also though helped me start to recalibrate love in my life and look at my actions through that filter that you're supposed to, of the honest, pure, unselfish, and loving. And you know, like it's really easy to know when I'm dishonest. Okay, like there's honesty and not. And you know, like there's no little lie, there's no white lie, they don't exist. Like anybody out there, fantasy island. And I'm not saying I don't lie, but I know the second I don't lie. But man, I mask a lot of things in false
Yeah.
love. I mask a lot of things, and I'm experiencing a lot of joy just calling out my bullshit on different motivations and actions that I'm calling loving. You know, like it's just the simple thing of keep no record of wrongs. You know, like try to have a relationship with someone and keep zero record of wrongs. Like, man,
Yeah, man.
that is a massive mountain to climb.
That's beautiful, man.
That's like literally surrendering revenge and you know that feeling that, you know, like, oh, I deserve or whatever. It's like, man, I am really enjoying highlighting that to myself, and it's bringing me joy through that struggle. So the discipline of the two-way prayer, of prayer in general, because I'm also doing my other prayer while I'm out walking, and then the meditation, like, you know, that that was a chore 9 months ago, and now it is literally one of the most joy creating things in my life. So yeah, that's my answer to that one.
That's beautiful, man. That's
Mm,
beautiful. So you ready for my question?
I'm so ready. I'm like,
So what moments in recovery have given you the deepest sense of joy?
oh,
And describe them, man.
whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. So I'm going to go back to that initial surrendering. You know, there was the magic of that, and the magic of this whole spiritual awakening starting at that point. That brought me a ton of joy, because before that, that hamster wheel of more inside my brain, like being able to surrender that and say, no, that's not my fight anymore. And that actually working, that
Yeah.
was, you know, that was like a type of joy that I just hadn't known, because I had never had joy and peace before. And that was my first speck of silence in my life, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then, you know, then step five, you know, step 4 and 5, like that feeling of no guilt,
Crying for 2 days.
crying for 36 hours for joy of the freedom from
Ooh,
guilt.
that's
Like,
joy, baby.
you know, that was just joyous and free. It really was. And I was happy, joyous, and free right at that point, for sure. You know, first time a sponsee got through the 12 steps. that was a feeling of joy. You know, like that really felt like my 12th step just had that conversion. You know, like I'm not saying that if he hadn't got there, but there was something about him getting there, and it was like helping carry him to safety through that, you know?
You taught that man how to fish, bro.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
you taught that man. You took him to the water and you taught him how to fish. He can feed himself for the rest of his life off of what you did for him, man. And he
And
can
that,
do that for other people too.
and then, this whole resurrendering, the great resurrendering of March 2025, honestly, man, I cannot think of a week that did not have joy since then. Not a single week. And
I'm like
even
cheesing, laughing, thinking about it.
even man, now when I'm having like a hard or tough day, it's like there's still an underriding awesomeness inside me that it's like I can't. I feel like the unquenchable fire right now, man.
Oh, unquenchable fire. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. We can't put you out. You
I'm
saying that we
burning
can't put
up,
you
man.
out right now, man? I can't even take a fire extinguisher to your ass to put
No,
you out?
you know,
You on fire? Say you burning up.
I'm burning up.
Are you done?
I'm done. I'm ready
All
for you to
right,
answer.
cool. All right. So what moments in recovery have given me the deepest sense of joy? Um, well, a couple of things that kind of came to my mind with that. I kind of get a lot of joy, but you know, when I hit my like 90 days, obviously you get those first couple of key tags, and bro, and it wasn't really about the clean time. Like I remember like 90 days picking up that 90-day key tag. Um, and again, it wasn't about the time. It was just I was so proud of myself that I hadn't ran. You know, I was so proud. I felt so much joy that me alone had not used drugs for 90 days in a row, man. Like, I remember being in treatment thinking about like the kids who had 2 weeks in there, and I'm like, those dudes haven't used for 2 weeks. They're fucking that's crazy. And there's have to be there. Like it's given I'm gonna have 2 weeks clean if I stay in this facility, which I'm essentially locked in. But and I'm like, bro, that's crazy. And so when I got out of treatment and I was able to get myself into these rooms, and for no other reason than I swear, like God just took the wheel. It was like, bro, sit your ass down in these meetings because we're not doing that again. We're, we're not going there again, bro. Like, you've had it long enough. My turn. So he sat me in these rooms, um, and picking up that 90-day key tag. It was almost I felt more joy in the people who had been there since day one for me because I saw the look in their face, like the joy in their eyes and like the smile in their face. That gave me real joy. You know, it wasn't about pumping myself up. It was like I'm doing this, I'm doing it the right way, and these people are proud of me. They're honestly proud of me. And there's no condition. They just told me to keep coming back. And what I just didn't use. And they're crying because I've got 90 days clean. I'm not using. Like it blew my mind, Milan. And I really went, okay, this is something that I can do long term for myself. This is something I can sign up for. I could see myself doing because I'm starting to get these feelings back that I didn't think I was going to get anymore. And so it was my natural thing to like lean into that. Even as uncomfortable as it was. That's why service, man, is so important because that joy that you feel at the beginning for just coming to meetings, like if you don't get in service, at least tip your toe in service early. There's a couple hairy times in there where like I didn't want to be in the meeting and I came anyway because I was of service. And being able and to do that held me accountable to be able to get that joy that I'm looking for, right? I hope that makes sense. Like there's times in there where just coming to a meeting and sitting your ass down and being a part of the group is not enough
I
for
agree.
me.
I agree. It's the actual commitment to doing the service even just pulls you out of yourself enough.
Just a little bit,
Like,
just
like,
enough.
because guess where we are? We're 100% inside ourselves.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yep. So if you have to go to that meeting 100% on your own accord or notion and not have any ties to like any service commitment there, like chances are after about 200 days, you're not going to want to go, right? And like you're like something's going to make you really not be there, because we're addicts, man. We're addicts, bro. Us not using drugs, we're in an abnormal state. Know that coming into this thing. Like we need to be using, or we're walked out, man. We're all crazy. So now being in fellowship, doing the service piece, it really allows you to calm the waters, man. It allows you to calm the waters because when shit gets hairy, you still got to show up, man. Like just like at work, my real job, like when it's the same shit, man. That's why that shit is so important. It's just like a job. Like when I'm not feeling good, I still go to work. If I'm not sick, I'm not feeling good, like I still have to go to work or I'm going to lose my job. And then what? Then I'm going to lose my ability to make income to be able to stay in a house and have a car and drive around like a person. And then what? Then I'm going to be sitting on my ass under a bridge somewhere doing drugs then again, right? Like bumming off people. Got to continue with this upward trajectory, man. And this program has taught me how to be a person in and outside of these rooms, bridging those gaps, man. It's very important. A lot of people don't know how to do that. I still don't know how to do that. I just know I'm in the process of doing it, and it's an ongoing thing. So that's my answer. I didn't even answer the question, but that's
I
okay.
think I debate that there's some answer in there for sure. Okay, joy comes when we stop demanding life to meet our terms and start participating with open hands. How has surrender made you more available to experience joy?
Wow. The surrender piece has been, being able to turn over what I can't control, which is a lot, has been monumental for me, and it's become more of a natural state for me. It's not something I gotta, um, that I have to have all the right things going for me to surrender, right? I can be in the middle of a windstorm and surrender, right? Like all of the variables around me don't have to be going exactly like I want them to be able to do that. So it's more of a natural state for me, which brings me joy naturally long term throughout the day. Um, and it doesn't mean I'm always in a good mood, right? I'm not always in a good mood, but I'm still can feel the joy and I'm still a joyous person. Um, there's an underlying sense of peace with me today that I carry. I regardless of the situation, if I'm in a meeting or something, I'm going to hold myself to a specific standard, but I'm always going to have this underlying sense of peace because A, I'm not on drugs. B, I haven't been running around trying to fuck anybody over or like get drugs for the next batch or whatever I'm doing, man. Like I'm not in that lane anymore, in that space. I haven't been like avoiding the police all day driving around. Like all these anxious feelings and all these times that we put ourselves in, these conditional situations we put ourselves in active addiction, um they play with our stress, like our stress levels and our body's natural way to react to situations. If we're always tensed up, we're always forcibly tensed up because we put ourselves in that situation. Bro, good luck coming out of that thing without a program or without some kind of surrender, without some kind of God in your life, without something bigger than you, because all of your good possible thinking like got you there. Your best critical thinking got us to the gutter, right? Got us to those streets. And so you've got to go outside of yourself, which surrendering to that, letting go to that, is the most important thing. It's the most important thing. It gets the whole thing jumped off. You know, joy today is found often in the simple things for me. A quiet cup of coffee when I want to, waking up when I see fit, when God sees fit, not when somebody's telling me to. Having that job that I want to, not because I'm on a work program, but because I went and I applied to that job and they gave me that job.
Hmm.
Today, joy is knowing right where I'm supposed to be today, and I know I'm right where I'm supposed to be today. So, love you, man.
I
This is my
love you
answer.
too. Okay, joy comes when we stop demanding life to meet our terms and start participating with open hands. How has surrender made me more available to experience joy? That surrender when when it's actually like genuine and happening, it eliminates those defects and resentments and expectations. And the second I have an expectation on a moment, I am destined for dissatisfaction. Like 100%, so when I'm surrendering, when I'm surrendering even just my will in the morning through the two-way prayer, finding out what to do, it's like I can picture, I can picture myself, like I can picture myself doing that, doing the right thing. And even that manifestation of that is joyous. I'm like, oh, that would be the right thing to do because it doesn't create anything from here to here on the back of my head that keeps me in that state of anxiousness, or
Mhm.
guilt or shame or whatever. It's like this is the shame, guilt, and anxiousness zone, and I like that to be free, and that happens from surrendering. And so just the pursuit of understanding how to surrender, learning that and implementing that in my life, you know, and a big part of that comes through gratitudes. Praying my gratitude, trying to have gratitude for those struggles and that growth. And, you know, the, if I'm experiencing gratitude, I'm not resenting something at that same moment. And when I think of something positively, I think, look at, I'm smiling. Like I'm literally creating joy. I'm creating joy, and gratitude is the one muscle that we can flex and make stronger. And so, and inside that, that helps me find joy in the surrender. Like
Yeah.
resentfully surrendering it, that it's a conflict of action. you know
Yeah.
but joyously surrendering is a key to freedom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Woo.
I agree. You ready for my question?
I'm ready.
How do you, Milan, protect your joy today?
Woo. I protect my joy today by trying to get the right amount of sleep, by doing my very best to control what I'm eating, by exercising. And now with all the walking, I've implemented an hour of yoga per day to undo all the walking, so that's like my maintenance. Like what I've realized is that I'm experiencing so much joy from exercising that I have to do maintenance exercise on my body in order to maintain that exercise. And one of the things about the type of yoga that I'm doing the yin yoga where you're holding poses for 3 to 5 minutes, is when I do that, it really is quite a meditative thing, but it's also an undoing thing. Like when you really deep stretch out those tendons and muscles, it takes you right back to where you tense them up for. And so it's allowing me to sort of reinforce and learn and become more aware of the things that are causing tension in my body. Like that awareness of things to avoid is a very important part of my growth and my development. And also seeing like some things, I'm like, man, I'm carrying tension about that. Like it gets laughable to me. Like sometimes there's joy in the discovery of my stupidity because like I'm just like, whoa, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Hmm.
And then the two-way prayer thing is part of my day that really puts a maintenance and protection on my joy because I'm getting directed at actions that will ensure that I'm really doing the right thing in the moment. Like if I'm really going into the moment to honor and respect it, then there's a good chance that my joy is almost got a cloak of protection of some sort through my actions. And if I take pleasure, if I can actually get to embracing that constant state of change, taking pleasure from the lessons and the blessings in my life, then then my joy is like 100% sustainable.
Beautiful, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're sustainable, and I love you.
I hope I'm sustainable. I'm trying to sustain me.
All right, so how do I protect my joy today? Um, Protecting my joy is just as important as protecting my clean time, almost, man. Because as long as I stay clean, I'll continue to find that joy naturally, like I want to, through this process. So when I kind of thinking about it, I'm like, I really do protect that joy. It's almost right there in line with my clean time. Like if I start um feeling unjoyful, or I start feeling the antithesis of that, I gotta check something. I gotta step 10 something. I gotta do something. I gotta have a conversation with somebody. I gotta reach out. I gotta do something because there's something going on. And it's cool because it's like a warning symbol. It's like a warning sign for me. It's like a early onset warning sign of maybe things to come. Like if I continue neglecting these warning signs. So you know, with that being said, if I allow like that joy to be stolen from me, it's only a matter of time before there's a resentment. There's some kind of negativity attached to it, some kind of self pity, something like that, right? And so I got to check myself. Those are really dangerous places for me to live, Milan. And I know that today. Grateful that I know that today. The first way I protect it though, like, is I wake up every morning and I turn my will over. Like I understand if I hit the ground running with my own self will during the day, that's a bad start. I got to wake up and I got to surrender every single morning. I got to give it up. I got to thank him for waking me up, keeping me clean yesterday, and thank him for waking me up when he saw fit, and allowing me the opportunity to stay clean just today, just another day. And it's beautiful because I can tap in with him at any time during the day too. I can reset my day and start my day at any time. And if you don't know how to do that, if you know the serenity prayer, say the serenity prayer. I've had days where I've said it 20, 30, 40 times, and I've had to reset my day. And it is a way for me to reset my day. I breathe, I close my eyes, I get tapped in and in tune with my body, and I make sure I say that, and I say it in a poignant way. Like I'm not just flying by the hip and throwing it out there. Like I'm really concentrating on my words when I say that prayer. It's a beautiful way for me to start my day, to continue to stay joyous, right? And to stay tapped in and start it over again. Um, Practicing gratitude, that it is a practice, it's an action thing. Gratitude is action, you know. So I practice gratitude throughout the day. If I want to continue to stay joyous and grateful, like I gotta practice that shit. Um, and like even in the times where I can't, where it's hard to find those, like traffic, sitting in traffic and anything on the road that's not in my car, like I hate everybody. But like I try to, what I try to do is I try to, and I'm serious. I try to like look around and think to myself, what right now am I grateful for outside of that, right? I really have to tap into to my own surroundings when I'm on the road. And it allows me to stay joyous because I can go through a 15 to 20-minute stretch if I'm on my way to work and I am not joyous at all, bro. I am anti-joy. I am anti-joy. But that's just like a little spout. It's just like a conditional thing, right? It's a conditional thing. I'm on the road. I hate other people on the road because I feel like they can't drive, and then I get to work and the joy switch turns off. Like I'm not on the road anymore. That's something I got to work on, Milan. Something I'm continuing to work on. I've been talking about that and being late for a long time.
Yep.
Traffic, road conditions and being late are my two like kryptonites, man. So a big part of my joy too is like not feeding into those resentments. Trying not to. Like if I'm gonna if I'm gonna let somebody else's situation wear off on my mood, I'm just feeding into that resentment. I'm holding on to it for some reason. It blocks that joy immediately, right? On some other shit, like on some other people's stuff. And doing that step 10 in every single day, man, that is my beautiful maintenance personal step to keep me right in this program with God, with my people. Um, and it allows me to see what's really that important. Like, do I really need to tackle this situation with this person? Because look, when I'm tackled in those when I'm wrapped up in that drama filled those drama filled conversations and all this he said, she said, all that negative shit, like I'm not joyous. Like that shit does not bring me joy. So I've learned that whether I'm right or wrong, I can have peace, and peace leads to joy every time. So I got to lean into the program, the traditions, depending on the situation, and I let it ride, man. I got to control. Step 1, 2, and 3: surrender, identify, and turn that shit over. Surrender, identify the problem, and do what you can, turn over the rest of it, man. I can do that to every single decision I make throughout the day. I can step 1, 2, and 3, everything. And if it's in line there, like proceed. So that's my answer.
I love
Love
it.
you, man.
You ready for the next question?
Of course I am.
Wonderful. The joy of living is a spiritual awakening in motion. What part of your life today would have been unimaginable before recovery?
Wow. What part of my life today would be unimaginable? Oh, bro, I'm engaged. I'm engaged, man. That right there, being able to have met somebody, B, had a relationship long enough where one of us slash both of us decide that we want to get married. And now we're following through with this thing, and I'm becoming a stepdad to this kid, man. It's his first day of school today, man. I was on FaceTime with him this morning. He got his hair cut, and he got some new glasses that he really, really likes. I'm a glasses guy, so I was like coaching him up with that. And that kid loves me, man. He'll call me from her phone and be like, when you coming to he's like, when you coming to live here and be my new stepdad? I'm like, well, I'm already your new stepdad, man. The label's there. I don't have to be there, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But just to see the joy in this kid's face, man, when I call him and I pump him up and I'm teaching him little things like I gotta wash his hair. Like his mom has been having a problem like getting him to wash his hair. She's like, he gets in the shower and then he just rinses and he says he washes it and he doesn't. So I pulled him aside. I'm like, bro, if anything else, just to make me happy for no other reason than to so you can call me and be like, Andrew, I love you and I washed my hair. Wash your hair when you get in the shower. Just wash it for me. Just to make me happy and proud. And he started doing that shit, man. I'm talking I'd be like, Mom, smell his hair. And it just smells hair and it smells good now. Bro,
Boys can be stinky little devils.
bro. And just cause. Just cause.
Yep.
And I'm really finding a lot of joy, man. It's so beautiful, man. So when I'm on the phone with her or whatever we're doing, she's like, "Can't you just not wait to get here so that you can help me?" And I can't, and I honestly can't. It's just, I got to line my ducks up to be able to do that. So, I'm not sure why I started talking about that.
Because you were answering the question and it actually fit.
That's my answer.
It totally fit, dude.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yep. The
It's
joy
good to
of
think
living.
about him, man. I love you, buddy. Ez, I love that kid, man. He thinks I'm like gonna be a movie star because I do a podcast. He thinks I'm like some movie star or something. It's cool.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool. I love him, man.
The joy of living is a spiritual awakening in motion. What part of my life today would have been unimaginable before recovery? Ooh, gosh. Okay, first of all, joy in sobriety. Like that in itself to me was unimaginable before I learned about the program. I thought that I was going to either be straight and unhappy or wasted and die. Like I didn't see a straight and happy option. But even more so than that, right now, is to be a shining example of happy sobriety. To be entering into meetings and the program with my daughter Like to be finally a shining example, leading young people to being straight and happy and not ruining their lives. That was unimaginable to me. Like
Mhm.
I would have bet $1 million 22 months ago that I would not be doing this on a Friday morning,
Me
like
too.
just as what I like love and thirst to do. Like this right here is one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done in my
Nobody's
life.
paying us to be here. We're
No,
here because we want to be.
yeah, but it's not even just that I want to be here. Like it's just that it provides such a source of nourishment and joy to my soul. Like where I want to grow and where I want to go is developing here through our conversations and like the process and that's why like when we have these guests from somewhere else, it's just like an injection of life wisdom into our existence, and it's just, like that moment. Think of how much that one sentence from Tom changed both our lives. Like that to me is just proof in the power of words. And that's why it's called spelling, because it's magic, you know?
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
And you have joy even in painful seasons?
Yes, I absolutely can
Tell
have
us
joy
about
in
it.
pain. Okay. I can literally get up, have my morning program. I can be learning. I can be, you know, exhibiting my discipline and my commitment on my own physical program. I can come into a podcast like this, and then for the rest of the day, I could have people shit the bed in my face all day long. Like it's true, and I can be completely
Hmm.
functioning through that, not not loving it, but I can be like I can literally have an overall day of joy with a whole bunch of bedwetting in the middle by other people, and still go to bed that night. Like if the last question you ask me, hey, did you experience joy today? I'd be like, yes, and fall asleep. It's absolutely. It takes a massively bad day for me to consider it a completely joyless day. And I honestly can't think of one in the last 4 months. You
Oh,
know?
that's dope, man. That's
Yeah.
dope, man. I love you. Is it my? I got to answer that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Can I have joy even in painful seasons? Well, yeah. Why, yes. Why, yes. Um, in addiction, when I was still on drugs, and this is actually one of the biggest turning points for me in my recovery is this exact fact, man. When I was in active addiction, pain, I thought joy could not exist where pain was. You know what I mean? Like if there was some pain happening, there is no joy. Joy and pain was like ice and water, right? Or what is it? Water, fire and water, whatever it is. Um, like in my mind, if I was going through something hard or painful, there was no way that I could feel good or feel joy. And that's why I ran from pain for so many years. That's why I would run from pain. Addiction is the fear of pain, Milan. There it is. Addiction is the fear of pain. So I would run from that pain by using, right? And that's how I would just put a drug on it, make the pain go away. Instant gratification. Now in recovery, it's shown me that like life is not about being perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody. Right. And it's about being connected with something greater than myself. So like even when life feels heavy, um, I've learned that like I can be grieving something, I can be going through something, I can be struggling, I can be facing uncertainty or whatever, and still have these moments where my heart feels light, right? Because I know I'm not alone, man. I know I'm living clean. I didn't use today. I'm not gonna use tomorrow, didn't use yesterday. So like even when the shit gets heavy, when shit gets a little rough, when the road gets a little rough, like I still find myself at peace and my heart feels light still. There's nothing that's taking me all the way out there on those feelings. Like you talk about that feeling on the back of your neck. That's a great way. I love that. Like if it doesn't make that or activate that, you're good, right? Like I love that because it's tangible for me. I know exactly. I can go back there and talk to it. I can feel it,
And you think
and
about it, and there's a lot of shit that sits right there, dude.
yeah, all
It's
your
like the
nerves.
monkey on your back.
Yeah. It's like all your nerve endings, all that shit comes to a head. Your spinal cord, your medulla oblongata, all that shit's up in there, And so, um, one of the most powerful things that's kind of happened to me, let's see, when I've told you I've lost a couple people, and so there's no way around that. But like even that sadness, even when I felt that sadness and that overwhelming sadness, like I still like gratitude still sat on the edge of that, man. I still felt grateful in those moments, being able to be at that funeral and things like that. Like that's how I knew this thing was working in my life. Where even when people died close to me, it wasn't enough to take my joy away completely. I still felt joy because I came in here clean. I'm doing the right things on the way in here, and I feel like we don't really. I feel like our minds can't grasp that. Like when bad shit happens, we just feel like it's gonna go to the old way of thinking, and it doesn't, man. If you're staying clean, you're staying in a program. You've seen other people have lost people, and they stayed clean doing it, and how they got through it. Came on a meeting and shared about it. You're already set for success to help holster that joy. It's already there. So, um, this is such a beautiful program, bro. Such a beautiful program. Um, there's nothing that I haven't been able to get around for the past 3.5 years without using drugs. And the tools that I got were because of the people in this program. You know what I mean? I don't run from my pain anymore. I let myself feel it. I lean on people to help me get through it. I talk to God. I stay open to the fact that joy might be found in these small moments. Now that I know that they are, I'm looking for them. I'm looking for the small moments. I'm not going to jump or leapfrog that small moment because that's what gives me true peace and true joy today. Are those small moments, be able to live present in those moments. And so, a simple hug from a friend, being able to sit and be present in a meeting and laugh, and just a simple, just us getting on here and chopping it up, man. That's my peaceful spot today. I'm going to be joyous if I'm doing that. And, so one of the, it's just a miracle that in recovery for me, learning that joy isn't the absence of the struggle, it's the presence of faith in those struggles. So love you, man.
I love you too. Okie dokie. Joy is amplified when shared, especially with those who walk the path with us. What role has fellowship played in restoring your sense of joy?
Wow, that's a great question. I feel like I almost don't even have to answer it. This fellowship has given me a framework for joy. It showed me that other people were joyous, living happy, joyous, and free on their own accord, and they wanted to be there. Then in turn, they wanted to give me those things that they had gotten. And I didn't understand why, because I wasn't bringing anything to the table. They weren't asking for any money. Got a seventh tradition. We don't ask for any money and go anywhere in the world and feel at home in a meeting. It doesn't even have to be the same language that I'm in. So this fellowship, let us love you till you learn how to love yourself. Come as you are, don't stay as you are. Just keep coming back. All that little shit, man, that I used to really, really despise early on in recovery has been um it's been my quiet place, because when I get all in my head, man, that's the shit that reigns in my head, just keep coming back, feelings aren't facts, but it's fact that we feel like all that little shit is what fills my brain, not going to the dope man to meet with Reggie at 3 o'clock so I can get more dope. I hear keep coming back. Love you. All right, man, that was my answer. I love you.
I love you too. So, what role has fellowship played in restoring my sense of joy? Man, okay, like I think the feeling of disconnection inside my addiction, and I literally feel like okay, like I went from my diet to coming home. I spent 12 days here get detoxing myself and before I got into treatment. And that was like the silent treatment by my family hating me. They didn't want to talk to me, nothing. So when I think of like the joyless period right before entering the program, and then I get to options, the treatment center,
Shout
they're
out.
they're laughing right away. They're having fun. I was like, oh, oh, what? I was like, I was picturing this somber jail with crying, like people wanting to get out, run away,
Everybody's
and
heads
it,
down.
and they're just like, woohoo,
What's up,
having
man?
fun, man, laughing and
You're in the
passing
right
food
place.
around. Yeah, you're in the right place. And so right off the bat, it was the fellowship first of all was my shining example of joy and sobriety. Like it was the example that was shown to me, and it wasn't like a show. It was the absolutely not a show. It was them being happy, joyous, and free, and me getting to witness that. Like, that first day I got to treatment, there was only like 7 people there. Like, like we talked about the difference in size of our treatment centers. So, okay, 7 people could have put on a show. But so that was on a Friday. On the Friday night, they take us out to an NA meeting. That meeting had like 60 people in it. I'm like, whoa, whoa, okay, now like
This ain't no show.
they'd have to be paying a lot of people for this to be a show. And like they're there
For,
laughing
for
and
the splash
smiling
mobs.
and like, whoa, and there's like 75-year-old people and there's fucking 21-year-old people. And I'm just like, whoa, what's
The
happening?
hell's happening right now?
But being alone all by myself, like if you had just put me off in a cave on a mountain and been like, straighten out, boy, we'll come back for you in 5 weeks.
No, no.
Like, I would have been lonely and alone. And, the fellowship has given me a community of like minded individuals to share, to learn with, and to be of service to. Like I could not stress enough the value of that in my life because every time I white knuckled it without the program, my phone never rang. My phone, when I white knuckled it for 18 months, my phone didn't ring once from a friend.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's
You know,
wild.
like, and it just why? Because why would they call me? Like, like, oh man, I'm so wasted and you're so straight. You want to do nothing together? Like, you
You got
know,
my $20?
yeah, yeah. But it was, and then, you know, uh, the other things of joy is like, man, I love chairing a meeting. Like, I
I do too.
love chairing a meeting, and like when you are chairing, especially in an in-person thing, man, people are sitting there and they're sharing to you. Like it's like to get these stories like told to me directly. And I know that might seem self-centered or selfish, but it's not. It's just that people want somewhere to look at. And you want a bunch of the most averting nice mother effers in the world. Go to a meeting and look at the people not sharing. They're like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I
Looking at the
like
phone.
I like eye contact. I like knowing what's going on inside your heart. And I
Mm-hmm.
love that. I love that about sharing a
It's
meeting.
connection.
Yeah, that absolute connection. And then you get to the sponsor-sponsee relationship. And like that, first of all, I'm experiencing a massive joy in learning. But I'm also experiencing a huge sense of joy in gratitude for what others are giving and for my ability to pass that on as well. Like working with an enthusiastic sponsee, I don't know of like a cooler feeling. And then finally, my last part for this is watching the fellowship embrace my daughter, who's relatively shy and nervous, and coming into a
So
room
beautiful.
and them loving on her like she's got nowhere to run but to love.
So dope.
And dude, like that just made me proud of the fellowship. Like, there was a joy and pride, but, also in just a joy that, it's not just a fucking lip service safety net. It's like, that when the ladies in the fellowship need to step up for another lady, and you see that in action, dude, that is fucking amazing. How they'll just support. What do you do? And they'll just like kind of
Mm-hmm.
surround that newcomer in like a really awesome way. Like in a you're not gonna feel alone again kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, people have. I've seen people bring them into their houses and let
Hmm.
them live for a little while. And
Yeah.
that's not recommended. But um, yeah. You ready for my question?
I'm ready.
How this it kind of rolls with the service and the fellowship commitment. This rolls into my question. So,
Mm.
how has joy influenced the way you approach service in a Milan?
Mm. Well, okay. One thing I realized is that I think I'm getting blessed by the joy end of the universe. Excuse me. I think that I have a higher level of joy than a lot of people, and I'm not trying to brag, but what I'm saying is that I think it's one of the gifts that I have to give. So when I'm chairing a meeting and people are rolling in, I'm like, boom, let's talk gratitude. I'm trying to show them the joy they're not looking at. I'm trying to engage that person that I can see doesn't feel part in that room. Trying to pull them in. I'm trying to make them feel like part of the fellowship, you know? So like I try to share my joy as part of my act of service. And to be quite honest, it really works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Don't
Hmm.
drop the mic on my foot.
Oh,
I'll
I'm
bust you
dropping
up,
it.
man.
I'm dropping it.
So, how has joy influenced the way I approach service, sir? Um, well, and like service has always been important to me. Service in A has always been important, but joy has completely changed how I do it, right? And early on, I got into service because I was told to. My sponsor told me to get involved, and it would keep me clean, and so I did. I do anything that dude tells me to do. Um, but I did that, and I didn't even realize that all the little service commitments I was getting at the beginning were planting the seeds for actual joy in my life. Over time, I started noticing something, man. Like every time I left a service commitment, I never left feeling worse than when I showed up. Like even when I came in tired, assed out, stressed out, in a bad mood, whatever it was, something about giving my time and energy and expecting nothing in return to this fellowship. It was something so genuine that lifted my spirit. It just genuinely lifted my spirit up, man. My spirit was lifted at that point. And then I realized like that feeling, that lift in my spirits was joy in action. Okay. That joy, that lift, that uptick in your spirit is joy in action. And the more I experienced that, the more intentional I became about my service. The more I wanted to feel that feeling. It was like a drug. It's like drugs. Feel good off drugs. Well, you feel good off this joy, off pumping up that spiritual nature of your body, of whatever your well-being. The more I experienced it, the more I became intentional with it, so that I could feel that feeling again through service. Today I don't see service as a chore or an obligation. I see it as an opportunity that I get to have today to step out of myself and connect with something bigger than me, this fellowship, God, helping somebody else out. I know that that's what I need to get out of my own head. I know that's the antidote. You know what I mean? So, um, whether I'm chairing a meeting, sponsoring somebody, working with a sponsee, or just helping a newcomer find their way through those murky first few day waters, man, like that is all joy through service for me, and just knowing that I might have played just a little part in somebody's life and their journey of getting clean. And maybe I played a part where like they were really feeling bad that day, and I might have shifted them. um, it makes my whole body like just feel good, man. I almost want to cry. You know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful having to be able to have these feelings and these emotions, and then be like right up like I'm doing right now. I'm holding back tears because I'm thinking about some of those situations that's happened just recently, and then being able to like physically almost go there again, feel those emotions. Like I'm so joyous right. I'm feeling joy on so many levels right now.
It's funny, like how many reminders of joy like I've experienced in the last hour and
Crazy, man.
15 minutes.
It's
Like,
so unbelievable, man.
yeah,
I can't. I
that's why I
can't, bro.
wanted to do it. I was like, man, let's just pull some joy into today.
Man, you know, the joy you feel when you see a newcomer actually get their 30 days, their 60 days, like, and they kept coming back. And you know, we got people that struggle to get 1 day clean, man. And when they get like a week, 14 days, you start hearing their voice change, bro. Like that is so, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, man. That's why
I
we do
love it.
this. That's my answer.
Okay, is it's my turn to ask or your turn?
Mm-hmm. Your turn to ask.
Yeah. Joy doesn't mean we avoid grief. It means we can hold both grief and gratitude at once. How has your ability to hold difficult emotions expanded your capacity for joy? Ooh.
Yeah. So gratitude, the gratitude, way outweighs the other side of that thing. Like when I have, you know, gratitude. What was the question again? Exactly?
Okay, the question is, how has your ability to hold difficult emotions expanded your capacity for joy?
Wow. Um, yeah. So it's about not internalizing for me, these big issues and these problems. Like as soon as I get them in my wheelhouse and they become an issue internally for me, I start making phone calls. I start reaching out to the people that I need to talk to that can help me out with that situation or have something to do with that situation. And right then, you know, if you have like a 700 pound anvil, as soon as you call people, that you know that load lightens, right? Like then now you don't have 700 pounds on your back, you got 350 pounds, and then they do, and then you start making other phone calls, and it lightens that load of these issues, and it allows me to stay where I need to stay, and not have to think that I got to shoulder everything, whatever it is. There's always somebody that can help me through it, even if it's just God, right? Even if I pray, that's me talking to God, it's me communicating with the God of my understanding, and that right there lightens that boulder. You know, he almost takes the whole boulder every time, man. If you can, depending on the situation, you know, God's my God, man. God's got me. I know he does. Um, so staying tapped into him allows me to understand that I'm pushing through these tough times for a reason, and it's because he has me. He has me doing these things. He has me pushing through these times. I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. I'm not doing any of this on my own. This is none of my own will here. You know what I mean? If I was on my own will, I wouldn't be here. You just wouldn't see me. So you know if I'm running on my own will because I just won't be here anymore. That's my answer.
I
I
love
love
that.
you, man.
I love you too. Joy doesn't mean we avoid grief. It means we can hold both grief and gratitude at once. How has my ability to hold difficult emotions expanded my capacity for joy? You know, um, I feel that my growth in acceptance and surrender has really allowed me to objectively look at some really difficult emotions that used to just cripple me. Like I found out that one of my uncles was, in his last few days of life a couple days ago. And the last time my mom saw him, you know, he's experiencing some dementia, some Alzheimer's on his way out. And he said to my mom, he said, he was really happy. He said to her, he said, hey, I've been to heaven. And she's like, huh? And I thought, man, if he's been there, he loves it, and he's okay to go there. This is like the man has lived an extraordinary life. So whatever sadness I experience through that, it's like my joy for knowing that the life he's lived and who and like that he's okay with going there because he's been there already. Like, and and so I was happy for him,
Yeah.
because one of the things that's happened to him is his wife passed after he's had Alzheimer's. He's had to relive her death almost every single day.
Oh no.
Like, dude, it's
Oh no.
that is like something I wish on no
Mm,
one,
mm.
So, like I just it used to be all about me and my loss for people and how that affected me, and I just think that now, like I'm able to step back a bit and just be like, well, what's the best for them? And that has changed dramatically in my life.
Well,
Yeah. And
it's
so,
beautiful, man.
yeah, I think that that's my answer to that question.
Thank you for bringing that up, man. That was beautiful. You almost had me in tears, man. So, what are
Well,
some small everyday things that bring you joy now?
that's one thing that I haven't touched on yet in this one, and I really wanted to, is that I am experiencing joy, like real fundamental joy from very small things, you
Glad I
know,
asked.
like, and that's one of the things that gratitude and being having an increased frequency in gratitude, like to everybody out there, man, I recommend writing a gratitude list. But if you really want more consistency of that feeling, try to pull that into like a once an hour thing. Try to look around every hour and think of three things that would make you grateful. And so, because of doing that, now it's like, man, I can have like a really joyous moment with a sandwich. you know, like I can sit there
Hell
like
yeah.
when our tomatoes started a month ago and I had my first toasted tomato sandwich. Like
Like, woo!
I was literally in like a pink cloud of fine toasted bread with
That's
tomato,
dope.
or just like the way that I look over and I'm like, man, look at these dogs I got, look at the friends I got,
Mm-hmm.
look at this podcast that we get to do, like yesterday, like, a girl coming back to the meeting who we thought had gone out again. And she was just going through some turmoil and had tried to go to different family members in another town and then ended up moving back. But to see her straight, the joy in those six people at that meeting of like, yay, she's alive, she's okay, you know? Like we have decaf at that meeting. And like, man, I can't handle coffee anymore. So like, but this decaf is so good. Like I experience joy just in that cup of decaf. Or when I'm walking and feeling my blood get going, and then because I'm walking, witnessing, like, dude, I was fighting a 6 foot snake the other day. Like I like literally like, man, I'm gonna send you a picture. I haven't sent you a picture of the
What?
dude. I'm gonna send you a picture of my 4 pound chihuahua going nose to nose with a 6 foot snake. Like,
What?
and then I'm trying to save the snake's life by getting it off the road with a stick. And this thing is like coiling and launching at me. And I'm like defending myself from this massive snake with a stick.
Don't do that anymore.
No, no, dude, it was so fun. I had the greatest time. Like I was like
You
snake
didn't get bit?
saver.
The dog didn't get bit?
No, no, my dog's quick and so am I.
Bro.
Oh, dude, I'm like snake saver. Even when the snake was a
Bro.
jerk. So I got like finally I got a 6 foot stick and I'm like flicking and he's striking
Jerk
at me.
snake. He's a jerk.
He really couldn't help himself. Like all
But
he knew was like I'm getting attacked. But I
jerk
saved his.
face Milan came to town, the snake wrangler.
Woo, snake! I was snake wrangling. I like it literally was snake wrangling. This thing was like.
You're like, not today, sir, and you're not gonna die on my watch either. Come on, let's get out of the road.
I'm like, get off there. And he's like, no, but I'm stupid. And I was
You'll
like,
thank me
oh.
later, man. You'll thank me later, snake
Yeah,
boy.
yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there's the small, simple things are like that's one of the things that I think is sustaining my joy in a more consistent manner. Is that
Yeah.
I'm feeling a greater amount of gratitude and wonderment for the tiniest things, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's dope. So, Andrew, what are some small everyday things that bring me joy now? Um, well, it kind of goes on the same this theme where it's not the big things, man. It's not the big things. Joy comes from all these small, every little day moments that I used to overlook, or worse, destroy them back in the day. Um, Back then, nothing small was big enough for me, right? Like I had to have everything had to be big. If it was small, it wasn't. I didn't want it. A big party, a big win, a big high, right? The small high, the small party, that wasn't me. I was into big, more, 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 more. We're morologists, right? We said that before. Um, I found now that like the things that most fill me up today are the things that aren't flashy at all, man. My morning routine, a simple cup of coffee
Ooh,
on my own time, man. Like being able to press the coffee button when I want, not because I'm in line and need to get it now before it's all gone. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Um, the cup of coffee, the quiet prayer, my reflection before the day starts. There's something about that peaceful stillness in the morning. That's why I gotta lock my dog out of the area that I'm in. Like I have a little space where I get tapped in spiritually every single morning before I leave the house, before I go get in traffic. um, so it's like my pre peace before I go get unpeaceful. So there's something about that though, man. No chaos, no racing thoughts, just me and God. And when my thoughts are racing, I literally I make a point to shut that shit down, man. Like I don't care what's going on. I don't care if I'm late. I don't care what's going on. Every single morning, I sit and I breathe. I concentrate on my breathing. It's my form of meditation. It gets those racing thoughts gone. It gets me grounded. Um, it's not just about the coffee, but it's about starting my day in gratitude. Those small rituals bring me gratitude. They last far beyond just a few minutes of peace in the morning. Rolls into like meetings throughout the day, which are another big joy for me. Meetings bring me joy. When somebody shares something that I need to hear, or you hear your story again, or you get that me too. It's not about like a me too here, man. It's not like a good old me too in these rooms. So the simple joy I get from that connection to people, to other people, answering the call when somebody is struggling in recovery and they're reaching out because they need some help. Those are the simple little joys that I get that bring me the most joy today, that have traction, and they stay rooted in my brain. It's how I make amends to myself, knowing that I'm doing better as a better person today. And you know, I know this whole thing is surrounded and is overlooked by something bigger than me, and that connection fills my heart more than anything else, right? Um, the things that I used to take for granted in active addiction, that I used to burn to the ground, are the things that are the most special to me today. And it's the things that like nobody's gonna be writing a book about those things, but in my head, that's the story for me, man. That is the book. Being able to tap in, being present in the moment, and being grateful for those little moments is everything for me, man. The big things can come and go, but the little moments that I stay in every day are the ones that I need to really, really holster if I want to stay peaceful, man. So that's my answer.
I love that. So now we're gonna go into lightning round.
I got one
Okay.
more question.
Okay, I got two more, so we might be able to get all three in here in the next 10 minutes, which would work great for work. Okay, so here we go. Joy is a byproduct of spiritual integrity when our insides match our outsides. So, how do honesty and consistency in your recovery bring you joy today?
Honesty and consistency bring me joy because there's something really magic that happens when consistency is added to this mixture, Milan. We can do really, really good things for a certain amount of time or whatever, but if we don't stay consistent, complacency comes in. And what happens when we deal with complacency? What do we need to do?
Come place
Come
your
place
ass in
our
the
ass in the
seat.
seat and hear the message, man. Give the message, be of service. Um, but yeah, consistency is like the binding agent for everything for me, man. It holds all these spiritual principles together. It holds the step work together. Because if I'm not consistent with any of those endeavors, man, it just kind of like it just disperses, and I can't hold on to it at that point. I'm Smith.
I love it. Okay, how does honesty and consistency in my recovery bring me joy today? There's just a discontentment that occurs when I'm not being honest. And that feeling is just like, honestly, it's shame. It's like the opposite of joy, really. But I'm finding now, like, say honesty and consistency in my recovery, right? I am 100% honest about what I need to do to stay straight, which I took me a long time not to feel like what everybody needs to do, or what, like all these shouldas, wouldas, and couldas. Everybody has their own like individual program. And for me, I know it's a life or death situation for me. And what I do is a lot because I was an a lot addict. Like I can't be like a mild recovery guy. And so I get joy from that because I know the longer I'm doing it, the longer I'm assured I'm staying straight.
Boom, knocked it
Yep.
out the park on that one, right on
Yep.
time. So why is joy so vital to you in your recovery, bro?
Joy is vital because I want to be on the positive side of the swing. Like for me, it's joy is like the reinforcement. Joy is like the spiritual attaboy, if I actually had to think of it like that. It's a spiritual attaboy by the universe of like, hey, I know I'm on the right path. And the reason I know that is because there's like, it's not like I say 50 gratitudes and experience joy. It's that I have to just be living a certain way to feel that way. And that's it.
I love it. That's dope.
What about you?
So why is joy vital to me in my recovery? Well, because without it, I can start looking at this new life that I'm living as more of a punishment instead of a gift, right? If I'm not, without joy, I can look at these things that I'm having to do. I'm having to go to meetings. I'm having to be of service. I can look at that as almost like a punishment. And I know, like, my brain is not my best friend. Half of my brain is consistently selling bullshit. The other half is consistently buying it. So again, when I'm talking to myself in my own voice, I can't say no. So that's where I have to understand that this is a gift. This is not a punishment. The things that I'm getting today, all these good feelings, can go away like that, man. If I don't stay tapped into this fellowship, into my step work, my program, my sponsor, I can lose everything. So joy reminds me that the promises of recovery are real. Um, it's the evidence that this program works. And it's not just because I've stopped self-destructing and all that shit. It's because I'm actually living with peace, man, and connection, and purpose. I have a purpose today. I live with purpose, and it's a sign that my higher power is active in my life. And I have, I'm a spiritual being. I was born a spiritual being. And so I've found the God of my understanding so I can live spiritually with spiritual principles. And joy is contagious, bro. It's vital. Love you.
I love you. Okay, here we go. My friend Andrew the Mandrew. Okay, laughter with those who understand our journey is one of recovery's richest gifts. How has humor and shared laughter deepened your connection to the fellowship?
Bro, laughter is love. Laughter is love, man. When I walk into a meeting full of joy and laughter, I can feel how the room how it lifts the room, right? I can feel the lift in the room. It's almost like when I walk into the room, I step upwards. I feel elevated, and so with that being said, people notice when you're living with light in your eyes, right? Like when you have that light and that sparkle in your eyes, people see it. And that shit is contagious, man. When someone sees you walk in and you're looking at them in the face, you're smiling, it almost makes them smile. Tom, another thing Tom taught me, look, even when you're uncomfortable, smile all day. Smile, because other people will be attracted to your smile, and your smile will make them smile, which then in turn makes your smile real. It's crazy, but it's real. It's true. It's true. I've done it.
Smiling. Yeah. Conscious smiling will change your and other people's days for the positive.
Bring you
forever.
joy. It will bring you and everybody around you joy, man. Smile at somebody today.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So, Milan, laughter with those who understand our journey is one of recovery's richest gifts. How has humor and shared laughter deepened your connection to the fellowship? Man, like humor and shared laughter was pretty much the first things that started shaking the joy into my life. You know, like I think of being in treatment and just like about a week or something in, like starting like a little kid giggle thing at the kitchen table with some of the people. And I mean, I was in tears. I was like thinking, man, I could piss my pants right now. And I wasn't even getting up. I didn't care. Like I was not leaving that laugh factory. And you know, that made me feel part of. That made me feel connected. Like there is a wave of energy that goes through a room when you're laughing hard with people. That is a connection as deep as a kiss, man. You know,
Makes you want it again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But it's also like, you know, like there's one thing to laugh at people and there's another thing to laugh with people. You know, yeah. But it's like when you're laughing hard together, ooh, I fell in love with the fellowship.
Instant besties. They're all like instant besties. When you get that real gut giggle, man, like that's instant besties, bro. Because you're trying to find that shit again.
Okay, so any final words, Andrew?
Yeah, look, joy is it is a spiritual condition, not an emotional mood. Remember that. That's
joy is something that I'm grateful to have these days, and it's all due to this program. I'd like to say thank you to the program and to everybody who's been part of my recovery. Tune in next episode for more recovery
love you guys.
Bye bye. I love you. Anytime. Please help us help others. If you'd like what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.